Going live. There we go. Tell me if you can see this. Are you on YouTube right now?
No, I'm not.
Can you go into can you go into YouTube on your phone real quick and just to see if you can see?
Yep.
Okay, there it goes. All right, we're live right now.
We're live. Okay, let's go.
Thank you all. Let me just send this out real quick. Awesome. And so you can also like go on there and look at the actual the feed of it. So can you see that?
Oh, great. I'm to your left or right, huh? That's good.
Yeah. So all right, let me go into the actual like Zoom. This is kind of cool, man. How I'm able to do it. So I'm gonna stay on the actual the YouTube studio or whatever, but I just want to make sure I can. What's that?
Remember that I guess I'm on a free Zoom, so it's only like a 40-minute. I don't know if it's an hour or not, but just remember, be aware of the time.
Right. So I think so. Did you just join the chat? I think so. All right. So we're good, man. All right. Cool.
All right.
Hopefully the sound is going well in the chat. I know you said that you can hear it, but you're not on the actual YouTube right now. But for those of you that did join, thank you guys so much for your patience. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I was having technical difficulties. No excuses, but hey, we're about to get this on the road. So welcome to the first episode of the Veteran Influencers Podcast. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for being on here. And thank you so much for your support through social media and sharing the posts and so on and so forth. It just means the world to me. Just like a quick little rundown of who I am, Veteran Influencer. My name is Chris Levine. I'm an active duty Marine. And I started Veteran Influencers because I wanted to get the word out that us veterans, not just military, but us veterans have so much more to offer in the world, not only with what we do, but also working on our second careers for when we get out and transition out, or even while we're in as well. So we want to have some veterans on the show. And right now we have a special guest, and he's special to me because this guy here is always motivating. He's always influencing others. And he's going to tell you exactly why he's a veteran influencer, the things that he has done to get back to others and to motivate others to pursue their craft. So without further ado, my guy, my friend, Gunner Sergeant Leroy Brown.
Hey, appreciate you, Chris, for having me on. Hey, I'm Leroy Brown. People call me Leroy Brown. I go by the name of Leroy Brown, guys. Ladies and gents, it's a pleasure to be on your show. I'm looking forward to answering all the questions that you may have. I'm originally from Mississippi. I'm in the Marine Corps as well, and I'm active duty. And I'm coming up on 20 years, getting ready to retire from the Marine Corps. And as you can see in the background, you see a couple of pieces of my artwork. I've been painting for a while now, and I guess as the questions come about, I'll be able to answer whatever you have, ladies and gentlemen. And also, if you have any questions from anybody in the comments, I'll be able to answer those questions for you.
Awesome. Well, yeah, like I said, I definitely appreciate you having you on here. And what I wanted to do is actually show, the main part is I want to show like your progression from before you even joining the military, you as far as your craft as well, and like how you like kind of founded, painting or drawing, and then kind of like where you're at now. So if you'd like to give like a brief little description about like, early years, like little baby Leroy.
Yes. Okay. So, like I said, I'm originally from Mississippi. Started off drawing, doodling, making flip books. Of course, you guys remember making the flip books with notepads, the cartoon characters, and you're drawing on each page. I started off with the animation. I always wanted to be a cartoonist, but I didn't go that route. So I had a couple of guys that inspired me as well that I used to draw with. And I mean, that's all we did, really. up until like between the second and the sixth grade. So between the second and sixth grade, I had a select couple of friends that I always drew with, drawing contests. I was just always drawing and doodling. Never got into painting, but I was always with a pencil and some ink. My skill set then was nowhere near where it is now, because I was obviously in elementary school. But I think for what it was worth, that, a lot of folks knew that I could draw and knew that I had a skill there. I received most improved art around like in the seventh grade. I received a certificate in the sixth grade, and I still have those certificates. And I end up on, say again?
What was it for? A certificate for what? It wasn't like a runners-up trophy or nothing, was it?
One of it was like a most improved art, and the other one was for art something. It was done in elementary, so I was looking at it. It was like 1992 certificate, so still in good condition. When I got off to the seventh grade, I took a class in middle school. I took an art class in middle school, which taught me the basics of art. And then I took another class in ninth grade. So I don't have a lot of education when it comes to art, but a lot of it's self-taught and driven by passion of just wanting to paint, wanting to draw. It wasn't until I got in the Marine Corps till I really took art seriously. So I kept drawing, kept painting. I bought canvases, and I didn't buy the best quality because I was a junior Marine at the time, you know. So I was buying packages of canvases with assorted packs just to buy them. I'm like, oh, this is a good deal. So, I would just paint on them. And I look back at that my skill set then. I'm like, oh my God, I really painted that. I still have a lot of my paintings that I did in 2003. Fast forward to about 2006, I was still painting. I was in New Orleans at the time. I was a sergeant, right?
Okay.
And I moved on to the drill field in 2008. I moved on to the drill field in 2008, and I kept painting. It wasn't until I met a guy by the name of Hank Herring in South Carolina, and I became his apprentice, so to speak, because he and I had similar interests. I mean, he was in the Marine Corps. He retired in the Marine Corps, and he was a framer, and he was doing what he did. Asking him questions, and he said, hey, one thing you want to do is you want to create more product. So around 2008 is when I really took this thing seriously, because I had already been painting. So around 2008, I kept coming around. He showed me how to frame, showed me how to, a little bit here and there, how to cut glass and mat and all that good stuff. But I really started taking it seriously around 2008, creating my own content.
Wow, 2008. So what are we, about 12 years separated from that? So in 12 years, so from your actual start, because I'm assuming that in 2008, you're like, I'm looking at your paintings in the background, and obviously I follow you on social media, and I'm always on your lives because I'm just astounded by your talent.
Thank you.
Like, just look at everybody. Can you guys all see his paintings in the background? And he does everyone, from LeBron. He's done some Michael Jordans for some of you that are kind of going battling back to back to see who's the GOAT or whatever. But to the Kobe's, to some actual cultural paintings as well. The guy is amazingly talented. But so for those that are maybe trying to get into art or trying to get into drawing or painting, what kind of motivation as far as before and after can you give them? Because we see the kind of after, what's the before like?
Sorry, I got interrupted. Hey,
no, you're fine.
Go ahead.
Life plays a part. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
I got kids that are interested, teens and 5-year-olds. So you say your question one more time.
So right now, we're looking at the background, right? Because we had you, put some of your actual paintings, back there. So what kind of before picture can you paint for those that are trying to get into what you're actually doing now? Maybe either they're starting off drawing or they're starting off painting. They're not really that good at it yet, but they're trying to actually get into that field. you know how, I guess you could say prime example is you see all these ripped people, like, right, and you see them like, they weren't born like that, but they don't show like
Right.
the progress. So
Yeah.
like where were you at in 2008 when you started as far as the quality of your drawings?
So a lot of my work, I started off painting folk art. It's like a a lot of cultural African American down south background stuff that I came from, stuff that I derived from, if you will. As I joined the Marine Corps, I was trying to get a sense of how I felt, back home, because I was always away from Mississippi in the South. I think someone that's trying to get into art should start off with like a self-portrait. They take a portrait because what other face do you know than your own face? You know what I mean? So if you start with a self-portrait and you want yourself to look good, right? You don't want to bend the rules and painting yourself a little better, or you're drawing yourself a little better. So you paint yourself or you draw yourself as you see yourself. And wherever you're at, because I think I've done some self-portraits in the 7th grade, in the 6th grade, and I look back at that skill set, and I know that there's a lot that I have improved on. But I think the best way for someone to paint or to draw is to sketch what they like sketching, sketch what they want to see. The self-portrait is probably the best. I started drawing faces early on. And I tell you, one thing I don't like doing is doing realism. I just started clinging to realism because I'm not a big hyper realist. There's people that do hyper realism, which there's freckles, there's this. I'm more of like a expressionist. I like people to think. You know what I mean? So a lot of my art didn't have faces in the beginning. It wasn't until I painted a portrait, a family portrait of a family, and they were like, can you do more? Can you do me? Can you do my family? So I started painting family. Just 6 months ago wasn't. I started painting portraits of families and stuff, and the business has been good. Business has been great.
Okay, hey, that's actually awesome. Like I said, I'm the type of person that like I like to hear about these, like the before story. Like, I mean, the after part is cool, like to see what the end results are. But the problem is sometimes it's really hard to appreciate the after when you don't understand what it took to get to the point. Like, prime example is like, I guarantee, when you look at all the paintings in the background, you're like, oh, well, he's just talented, so it just comes natural. But all those times you stayed up till midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You were, what I'm saying? You probably had duty the night before, or some 24-hour duty. So it's like.
Exactly. So you are absolutely right. I like what you said. Some people are like, oh yeah, you're blessed. You have talent, and true fingers, these hands. But I think it's I've came a long way. I have work that I really don't like showing. You know what I'm saying? So it's
and now, you gotta show
I thought I was good. I thought I was good in the 6th grade. I thought I was good in the 9th grade. And I mean, I thought I was good in 2003 as a Lance Corporal, E3 in the Marine Corps. I was painting.
Right. Oh, you're cutting out a little bit.
It's like there was stuff where my painting wasn't. Say again?
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah. So a lot of my internet. It says my internet connection is unstable.
Because you got that Boost Mobile. Hey, anybody tell you to put that 2G on there?
No, but yeah. So in moderation, painting becomes better. The more you paint, it's like Michael Jordan got out there and he just was shooting. He didn't get good overnight. Obviously, he got cut from a team before. So like with artwork, you have to apply all of those fundamentals. And some people just don't go to school. Like I didn't go to school for art. I don't have a degree in art. It's just more of the fact that I want to do it. And I love doing it. I eat it, I breathe it, I live it. And this is how I, that's just kind of like how I medicate, because, it's like therapeutic to me. But obviously I didn't start here. It's the idea of looking at a painting and realizing if you're finished or not. And a lot of my times when I started painting, I was like, man, I'm finished. And I was rushing, or I just thought I was finished. And I look back, I'm like, wow, I was not finished.
Right. But I think that over time, it's like, there's a difference between like trying to learn a skill and now you're just honing the skill, right? And I think that because I was watching your live the other day where you were putting the gloss on. Look at that thing is glossy. You know what I'm saying? Like I can see in the back, it's shining.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so what I was saying is like I can tell, for me personally, I can tell the quality, not just the I can tell the quality of the actual paint. And you know, like I said, it's watching you on live, like taking the time to actually, you know, gloss over the top portion of it is actually amazing to me.
Yeah. You cut out a little bit. The last thing I heard was glossing. And yes, so I didn't do that. I mean, like it wasn't like the more you stick around art, the more you learn, the more you know, there's some stuff that you see on YouTube on glossing and applying a finish and more
Right.
of the varnish that I apply to it, it protects the art against yellowing. You know, there's dirt there's dirt where dirt can just wipe it off. And from there's a varnish, it gives it a semi-gloss and it also protects the painting, oils or acrylics. Now, when I first started, you didn't see me spraying anything on it because I thought I was finished. Like I say, you know,
Right.
like the more I stuck around art, the more I stuck around people that liked art, the more I wanted my art to be better. So there was stuff that I was trying to do to stick out. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I definitely understand that. It's like the whole concept of, you know, if you want to be, you know, rich, then you surround yourself with rich people. And I've seen so many people where their creativity comes out because they surround themselves with people that are like more creative than them, or they're better at a certain thing than them. Like,
Right.
I mean, that's how I felt, that I've always tried to play up to my competition, like in basketball and everything. And when you play with those people that are better than you at something, or they understand a certain concept or certain areas more than you, I mean, like what else is going to happen besides you just get better at it, you know? And I just watching you, like I've seen like some of your earlier on stuff. I would say from maybe about, what was it, about a year and a half ago, you started putting on your IG live, maybe about a
Yes,
year.
a lot of stuff went on Instagram Live. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I, you know, ever since that point, I've been following it, just like watching not only the quality, but just the talent, you know, in which you utilize to do it, man. It's amazing. And I would say, not to keep going, man, but I'm gonna tell you, there's a few people in my life that I look at that where I'm like, man, like I just get inspired by watching or just learning things about them. And like I try to, every time I see like one of your Instagram like little
Story.
links go out, notifications, there you go, notifications go out that say that you're live. I'm like, dude, I don't even know why I'm up. And this guy's up at like midnight painting. Bro, you got one eye open, wiping the crust out your eyes, spraying the you know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, this dude is savage with it. But no, you motivate the hell out of me, man. And
So
like I
I
said,
love it. You know what I'm saying? So I think you froze there. Can you hear me?
yeah, can you hear me?
So yeah. So with staying up late to waking up in the morning, like I mean, I love it. So I sacrifice time. You know, I sacrifice time for it. You know what I mean? If you
Right.
know what am I accomplishment if I'm in the sleep, if I'm in Iraq, or if I'm doing something else. So every piece of time that I have, you know, if it's not working or with family, or if I'm sleep, then I need to be putting it towards my craft, you know, because that's time wasted, you know. So
Right.
I was reading a book, man. It was like, hey, this guy was like, it was 24 hours in a day. So, you know, if you sleep for 8 hours and you work for 8 hours, that's 16 hours. What are you doing with the other 8 hours of the day? You know what I mean? And you take 8 times 7 is 56. So what are we doing with 56 hours in a week's time frame?
Right.
56 hours. What can you do with 56 hours? I can do a lot with 56 hours. I've already slept. I've already worked. So everything else has to be self-improvement, you know, and honing myself, you know. So now I take that time, man. I take that, you know, it wasn't until it clicked where how much time I was wasting.
And what was that point though? Like where you're like, I need to do something else with my life, or I need to utilize the talent that I have and like the skills that I've obtained over the years? Like what was it, like a single individual event?
No, so it was more of the fact that I think the military, being a Marine, like because we have work ethic, right? We like to work,
Right.
work. So a lot of the fun. I was a hard worker before the Marine Corps, and it just made
Right.
me better by joining the Marine Corps, right? So I would say having that invisible DI behind me saying, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Like, right. I still take the DI with me
Right.
and I try to push myself, because that's one thing that makes us that pulls us back. Like we handicap our own self, man. Like, if you want to do something, do it. But if you've been driven to do something, like with a drill instructor behind your back saying, hey, you need to do this right now, faster, harder, smarter. So with art, I apply the same thing. Like, I have to, everything is faster, harder, smarter. Not so much faster, but quality, right? So
Right.
I'm just driven to do more and more and more, and take the time, and not try not to be selfish with the time, even though sometimes I take away from the family and I'm down here for 6, 7, 8 hours.
Dude, and so I want to appeal to like people like us, right? We're veterans. That's why I call it veteran influencers, because so many people were telling me like, oh, I just don't have time. It's like we're working out. I just don't have time, and I have this going on or that going on. So you mentioned something right there. You mentioned family. So to the viewers and to those that want to be in your shoes at some point and be an entrepreneur, like, how did you manage family, and how do you still do it and manage to actually boost like your goals up, you continue to accomplish your goals and get to where you want to be at?
So, okay, so first and foremost, the family is the most important thing, right?
Right.
Before I was married, art was definitely there before I was married, because one of the first things I did for my wife was I painted a picture, and it was the monarch butterflies, 2 monarch butterflies, and I think I wrote a poem or something. So because I'm sort of poetic too.
Hold on, you still got that or what? Hey, I'm trying to see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see it.
I definitely have pictures of it, but through moving and stuff like that, I didn't take care. It did somewhere. It is somewhere around here. I know I still have pictures. I think I did it in 2004. So I have a lot of that work photographed. I have a lot of that work. I still have some of that work. But family is most important, man. But the family does understand, just like they were coming in here just a minute ago, trying to be around it. They know I love art. My daughter loves I have a 5-year-old, 15-year-old, and a 17-year-old, and everybody has this different vibe, that they like doing. But they know that when I come down here, I'm in my zone. It's hard to pull me away. But when it comes time to do something with the family, definitely I have to break bread and leave the throne, the studio. You know what I mean?
But man said the throne.
but for real, if I want to, I'm not trying to be a starving artist. I'm not trying to feed my family by painting. I rather feed my family from the living that I made for 20 years in the Marine Corps, right? So everything else is profitable gain. It's an investment. So eventually it would do more for my family, but I don't intend for art to be
You there?
He's my family when I've already served my country for 20 years. You know what I mean?
Right. And so, like I said, so pretty much what he's saying is, at least what I'm getting from it is, when you understand what your priorities are, you tend to make time for those things. Obviously that goes first. But I would say one thing, and like I said, just from watching you, one thing I would say is it's not going to be always this pretty little, like, I mean, just not the sugarcoat it, right? It's not going to always be this like, yeah, you just get home, you spend an hour or two with the family, and then you go work on your craft for the rest of the night, because there's different factors. You're tired.
Yeah.
Sometimes work, like especially being in the military, I know damn well, like, we don't damn near ever get out on time, or like, and God forbid they tell you, oh yeah, hey, we're all getting out at noon today. Come on, bro. You ain't getting out at noon. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
So to speak to the timeliness of the and wanting to do this, like I go back to this being therapeutic for me. So
Right.
the stressors of having teenagers, the stresses of being at work for 12 hours already, you know, coming to do something I love. This is not really a job. I love this. You know what I'm saying? So I love doing it. Like I love everything about art. I love painting. I can actually see my work finished before I even started, you know? So I have that vision in my head where I want something to look like. You know what I'm saying? So did you freeze? Are you still there?
But
Yeah.
there we
So
go.
yeah, yeah, working a long time and coming back in here to get in the studio. I go put in the time with the family. I cook, or is there something I like to spend time with them? Everybody have their own agenda, you know what I'm saying?
Hold
So
on, you can cook? What you be making?
yeah, boy.
You be making ramen noodles and
Yeah,
oatmeal, huh?
boy.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, boy.
I'm on your neck
they,
today,
they,
son.
they may get an MRE, brother.
Yeah, hey, and they ain't using the warmer. I'll tell you that.
Hey, what was the best MRE? The chili mat?
You know what? But okay, but why was it the best though?
Because you have to mix something else with it, right? The jalapeno cheese.
The jalapeno cheese, son. Yo, hey, I'm telling you, people don't know about the jalapeno cheese. Not
Yeah.
only that, but they always had Skittles or some type of good candy with it, or
Yeah.
the Reese's Pieces little bites.
Or the little pound cake.
Boy, I used to smack that. Boy, yeah, that's where it's at, man. Hey, they don't know about it. That's too much, man, for episode 1. You know.
You looking good on time?
Yeah, man. So are you running out of time?
I'm good. I'm good.
Now I'm good too, man. Like I said, for the first time, I definitely want to give people the biggest picture of like who you are. That way, when I start sharing you on my social media and saying God willing and with your permission, I love to have you on here more often.
Yeah, that's
So
dope.
I think the first time, you kind of get every little bit, you understand the full history, so you kind of like
Yeah.
you can kind of relate to that person. And then from there, man, we can just make it a little bit more natural occurrences for like different things that you're actually doing throughout the community, or different paintings or even art galleries that you got going on and stuff like that. You can help promote yourself on here, and I'm all about it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. And I appreciate you, and for you guys that are out there that have been supporting the stream. Like I said, man, I appreciate each and every one of you. I know Leroy does too. And we're gonna have so much more content to come in the future. I feel like I finally figured out like a good path of how I can promote these great veterans that I know and just that are out there in the world that I don't even know yet. But what I do want to do is I want to see any last words that you have for the viewers, and then we're gonna make sure we leave your social media and everything, and I'll put it in the description in the video when the video comes out. But like, any last things that you want to say to kind of like to any impressions that you want to leave those that are struggling with like honing their craft or trying to figure out a way to monetize it, or or to massively produce it to the world, and then we'll do your social media after that.
Certainly. The best advice I can give is to crawl. You have to crawl before you walk. You have to walk before you run. You know what I'm saying? So you have to start somewhere with whatever your craft is. Especially for us as military folks, don't let the military set you back from doing a little bit at a time and doing what you want, doing what you want to do in life. I listened to Earl Nightingale. Earl Nightingale, believe it or not, Earl Nightingale was a Marine, and I didn't know he was a Marine. So Earl Nightingale, basically, he has this voice, this deep voice. This videos are like 25, 30 minutes long, black and white. It don't look interesting, but when you listen to it, he talks about the strangest secrets of success. And a person that's successful is a person doing what they want to do in life, right? So do not let the economy nor or any stresses of life deter you from what you want to do. If you want to do fashion design, what are you doing to get to that goal? You have to do a little bit at a time. Start keeping a journal, start writing, write the vision and make it plain. you know. So you don't just procrastinate, you know. Keep moving forward. Get around somebody that is doing what you want to do. You know, ask people to be, hey, can I help you out for free? Can I just sit here and watch you? Can I take the trash out to be in your studio or whatever it is? I'm not saying you have to take the trash out, but sometimes you just have to, you know, come help somebody around just to be around. Maybe I can sweep up your shop, but I want to learn something of what you're doing because I want to be there one day. But I think the greatest takeaway is to actually not punch your goals in the stands, not to stiff arm your goals, you know, keep at it. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I just didn't start here. I started just drawing in elementary. That's what sparked me. I was drawing in elementary, and then unfortunately, I lost a couple of guys, man, due to different accidents. But I feel like they're still here with me. So spiritually, right. I'm motivated. Spiritually, I'm just not here just forcing myself. I have this other being that I feel that is motivating me to paint more because they're not here with me, you know. So there's right. people that are not here with us. There's people not here with you, and we're on this side of the dirt, able to make a difference, able to accomplish some of the goals that they cannot. And I know they wish, you know, you may have some of the loved ones too, friends, family, you know, and fellow Marines. But like, there's people that would wish to come back on this side of the dirt and do something. So we can't take advantage of the time. We have to take advantage of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's awesome. Like, honestly, everything you said is true. And, you know, like I said, not to make this about me, but like, I honestly felt those things too, to where I had a few struggles when I was like, man, let me just try. I was like kind of dibble and dabble in things. I was like, man, let me just try a few things. And when you fail, because listen, I don't care how good you are. I don't care how, like even today, I was like, man, I was having technical difficulties just getting on here. It just like, it was working earlier and then it just quit working.
Yeah.
But you're going to have these struggles. Like I finally figured out how to edit a video and I had like 10 videos edited. My entire database crashed.
Wow.
And I lost everything. And I was at a point where I was like, look, I'm either all in or I'm just done because I can't be doing this back and forth. So yeah. That was the first time I actually invested my tax money into something. I bought a camera.
And I tell you, man, I was looking on the outside looking in. You don't know until somebody tells you, like, really, like, that you, because I was watching you, I was looking at you, the way you do things, like the way your setup is with the, you know, the green, what is it called, the green screen or whatever?
Yeah, the green screen.
You have a dope setup. Like, I'm like, where was this that I've known you, you know, for so long? It's just like the same with people with me. They're like, man, I didn't know you were Picasso, you know. You didn't ask, but like for you, you know, you have to have people, of course you have to have the self motivation, but when people tell you that, man, you're doing it, you know, you don't see yourself like I see you, and you're right. doing it. So, you know, hats off to you, because I see you, man. There's things that you're doing right now that with the technology that I cannot do. You know, I would break some stuff. Yeah.
Listen, if I thought I was live earlier when I was trying to figure out Zoom, I was flipping out. I was like, why is it not working? What do you mean I gotta upgrade my thing? You know? But one thing I was just like, every time that happens, I just try to take a deep breath and go, look, you have no choice.
Right.
And when you tell yourself you have no choice to figure it out, you figure it out. I don't know. Sometimes it's just miraculous. Yeah, you figure it out.
Hey, sometimes you gotta put that campaign cover on. You know what I mean?
Start knife handing myself.
Yeah, hate yourself.
But hey, I appreciate having you on. Like, why don't you let everybody know what your social media is, any websites or anything that anywhere you want people to.
Certainly. Can you hear me? I think you froze just a little bit.
I'll put it in the description as well.
Okay.
Yeah, you froze too.
Got it. So Facebook is Leroy Brown Art, Leroy Brown, like the color, art, Leroy Brown Art. Instagram is Leroy_Brown_art. Twitter is Leroy_Brown_art. And if you hashtag Leroy Brown Art on any social media platform, you'll see my artwork come up. So building a brand, building a brand. And last but not least, my website is www.leroybrownart.com. LeroyBrownArt.com. I have a blog out there, and it's easy to navigate. Once you click on LeroyBrownArt.com, you'll see where it says click to shop. You don't have to shop. You can window shop. Just click the shop, and then there's at least five pages of art that I have out there, and I also have tabs where there's people that have bought my art, and I think I call it like customer satisfaction or customer appreciation. So I posted a lot of folks with their artwork. So yeah, again, Facebook Leroy Brown Art, Instagram Leroy_Brown_art. And Twitter, Leroy_Brown_art. My website is www.leroybrownart.com. Chris, it's been a pleasure, man. I'm glad you got me on, man, because this is the first interview, actually. And hopefully, like you say, hopefully I break some of my pieces down and focus on one piece where I can talk to one piece of artwork. Things that led me to do the art, things that I've used to do the artwork, and how long it take me to do the art, so we can focus on a little bit at a time. So, and I hope to get some followers from your viewers and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Hey, everybody, please go out there, support Leroy Brown. I'm telling you, this guy is one of the most humble people I know. He's the guy will take literally his hat, his shirt, and everything off his back to give to you. He'll give you his last penny. I'm telling you, I've never seen this dude mad. I've never seen him not go out of his way to help people out. And we're in the same type of thing where it's just motivating people to want to be better. I have a big passion for, wanting to motivate people to be better and not settling for just your first income or just to continue pushing. He does the same exact thing. His art has inspired the hell out of me. I'll tell you that much. And I know he has much more to go in the future. Like his website design. And he's like, oh yeah, I just messed around, nothing. I'm like, nah, stop.
Yeah.
Ridiculous,
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody please follow his social media, help support him. We're gonna continue to make this Veteran Influencers family bigger. You know what I'm saying? The first episode of the actual official podcast, baby.
Yeah. Appreciate
you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate each and every one of you guys in the chat for supporting your boys. And like I said, we'll see you on the next episode. I'll keep you guys posted. Hey, we're going to keep this thing going. We're going to go live a lot more often. And we're going to be doing these podcast episodes. So if you want to be on the podcast or you think you have something to offer, you're a veteran, hit me up on my Gmail account at veteraninfluencers@gmail.com. Email, basic information, who you are, what you bring to the table. Basic little bio, and we'll get you on the podcast so you can help to promote to others what it is that you can do for them. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll see you on the next one.
Right.
Peace,
brother.